Have you ever sat down to plan a dream trip to South America, only to be met with a chorus of "Are you sure that's safe?" from friends and family? Brazil is a country that seems to trigger an immediate, visceral reaction in people. You hear the word Brazil, and your brain probably jumps to two extremes, either paradise beaches, the pulsating rhythm of carnival, and the majesty of the Amazon, or headlines about crime, favelas, and danger. But like most things in life, the truth isn't found in the clickbait headlines or the sensationalized evening news, it's found on the ground, in the daily, beautiful, and complex rhythm of life. Today, we're going to walk through the reality of traveling in this massive, beautiful, and sometimes misunderstood country. I've spent significant time wandering through its diverse streets, from the northern coast to the southern plains, and I want to share a perspective that goes beyond the fear-mongering and the stereotypes. So, let's talk about what's actually dangerous, what's just blown way out of proportion, and how you can navigate this giant of the southern hemisphere with confidence. First, let's address the elephant in the room, the exaggeration. If you only listened to international news or scrolled through fear-based travel forums, you'd think the entire country is a no-go zone. That's just not true. Brazil is a continent-sized nation. It is the fifth largest country in the world by both area and population. It has regions as safe as any European capital and areas that definitely require a local's intuition and a bit of caution. The exaggeration usually comes from people who don't differentiate between a tourist-friendly neighborhood in a major city and a remote, high-risk area that no visitor, or even most locals, has any business visiting in the first place. When you see those scary news reports about crime waves or civil unrest, they are almost always hyper-localized to very specific, impoverished areas that don't represent the daily life of a regular Brazilian or a typical traveler. You don't go to Paris and walk through the most notorious housing projects on the outskirts at 3 in the morning, right? You don't wander into the most dangerous boroughs of London or the roughest sections of Chicago without knowing exactly where you are. It's the same logic here. Brazil is home to over 200 million people who go to work, grab coffee, drop their kids off at school, and live their lives just like anyone else in the world. The danger is often a matter of geography and common sense. When you're in the designated tourist zones, you're usually surrounded by people who are just as invested in your safety as you are, because tourism is their livelihood and their community's pride. Now, let's talk about the stuff you actually need to watch out for, the scams. Look, scams aren't unique to Brazil. You find them in Rome, in Bangkok, in New York, and in London. The common ones here usually involve overcharging or minor distractions. You might run into the friendly stranger who wants to help you with your bags at the bus station or airport, politely but firmly decline. Or you might encounter the official-looking taxi driver who claims his meter is broken or doesn't want to turn it on, hoping to negotiate an inflated flat rate. My advice? Always use ride-sharing apps like Uber or 99. They are absolute lifesavers. They track your route via GPS, the price is fixed before you even get in, and there's no room for negotiation or uncomfortable confusion. Also, be careful with your phone. That's the #1 target for petty theft. Don't walk around with your phone out, filming a cinematic, slow-motion story for your Instagram in the middle of a busy, crowded street. It's an easy, high-value grab for someone on a motorbike or a runner. If you need to check a map, step into a shop, a cafe, a pharmacy, or a hotel lobby. Keep your phone in your pocket, and if you need to take a photo, do it quickly, then put it away. It sounds simple, but it's the difference between being a target and being invisible. Another tip: avoid carrying large amounts of cash. Use your card, or even better, use digital payments like Pix, which is the standard in Brazil now. If you are walking at night, keep your belongings close to your chest. It's about being street smart, a universal language. There are so many places in Brazil that are incredibly safe and welcoming, often defying the expectations of the Western traveler. think of the south of the country, like Florianopolis, a city known for its hundreds of beaches, or Gramado, a charming town with German-inspired architecture and chocolate shops that feels like a European mountain retreat. These areas feel completely different from the bustling, chaotic metropolises of the north. You have stunning, pristine beaches, European-influenced architecture, and a laid-back, community-driven culture that makes you wonder why you were ever worried in the first place. Even in the big, dense cities, there are neighborhoods that are perfectly safe to walk around in at night. In Rio, areas like Ipanema and Leblon are bustling with life, restaurants, and people of all ages enjoying the cool evening air. You'll see families with young children, elderly couples holding hands, and groups of friends laughing and eating at outdoor tables. It's a vibrant, social atmosphere that feels very safe because of the sheer number of eyes on the street. The key is to stay where the life is. When the streets are empty, dimly lit, and quiet, that's when you should be heading back to your accommodation. Safety in Brazil is often about following the crowd, literally. If the street is full of locals eating and drinking, it's a safe, living space. So, how should a tourist actually act? The best advice I can give you is to adopt a local mindset. Don't dress like a walking billboard for your home country. You don't need to wear your most expensive jewelry, your designer watches, or carry a massive professional camera around your neck all day. Dress down. Wear what the locals wear, shorts, sandals, and a t-shirt. Blend in. If you look like you know exactly where you're going, even if you're totally lost, you're much less likely to be approached. Walk with purpose. If you do get lost, walk into a pharmacy or a bakery, they are everywhere and are great safe havens, and ask for help. Brazilians are incredibly warm, expressive, and helpful people. They will go out of their way to make sure you're okay, especially if they see you're a genuine traveler trying to appreciate their culture. And please, try to learn a few words of Portuguese. A simple bom dia, good morning, or obrigado, thank you, goes a long way. It shows respect, and it changes the way people interact with you. You aren't just another faceless tourist, you're a guest in their home. Now, let's talk about the big, historical, and cultural divide, Rio versus São Paulo. People always ask, which one is more dangerous? Honestly, they are just different beasts. Rio is a city of incredible, jaw-dropping natural beauty, the mountains, the sea, the jungle, the iconic Christ the Redeemer, but it's also a city of extreme, visible contrasts. The geography means that wealth and extreme poverty are often neighbors. You can be in a luxury hotel in Copacabana and be a 10-minute walk from a completely different social reality. That's why Rio requires more street smarts and a higher level of situational awareness. You have to be more aware of your surroundings at all times. São Paulo, on the other hand, is a massive, sprawling concrete jungle. It's the financial, industrial, and business hub of the entire continent. It's like the New York or London of South America. It's gritty, it's fast-paced, and it's enormous. The danger in São Paulo is more about petty crime in the downtown areas or pickpocketing in transit hubs. But because it's so vast, it's also very easy to stay in the safe bubbles. You can spend a week in the upscale Jardins or Pinheiros neighborhoods and have an incredible time, eating at world-class restaurants, without ever feeling unsafe. They offer different experiences, and both are worth the visit if you're smart about how you navigate them. Finally, here's the thing that nobody tells you. The danger is often just the fear of the unknown. When you arrive, you might be tense. You're looking for danger everywhere, scanning every shadow. But after a few days, you realize that Brazil is a country that thrives on human connection. People want to talk to you, they want to share their food, they want to show you their favorite spots, and they are genuinely curious about where you come from. The warmth of the people will likely surprise you more than any negative news story ever could. You'll find yourself sharing a cold beer or a caipirinha with a local, laughing about something silly, and realizing that we're all just looking for the same things: good food, good music, and a bit of joy in our day. That's the real Brazil. It's not the headlines. It's the samba music playing in the streets, the smell of fresh pão de queijo in the morning, and the sunset over the Atlantic. If you approach the country with respect, with an open mind, and with a bit of common sense, you're going to have the time of your life. It's a country that rewards the curious. It's a country that changes your perspective on what it means to be happy despite hardship. Don't let fear keep you from experiencing one of the most vibrant, soulful, and beautiful places on this planet. Just be smart, be aware of your surroundings, and go with an open heart. There's a whole world of stories waiting for you here, from the depths of the Amazon to the heights of the Iguazu Falls. And once you've taken that first step, you'll realize that the world is much smaller and much friendlier than you thought. So, pack your bags, do your research, stay in the right areas, and get ready for an adventure. You're going to be just fine. Subscribe for more cinematic journeys through the most fascinating, misunderstood, and beautiful places in South America. We're here to help you see the world as it really is,